Welcome to Hope Academy. My name is Mr. O, and today I'm going to be going over the ACT practice exam test number 1. This is provided online from the ACT website, so feel free to look in the description below to find that exam. But I'll be going over specifically numbers 10 through 12. Feel free if you want to look at the prior problems. There are prior videos I've already made on these questions. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Usually when I do these problems, I go over them quickly and I explain in depth how I was able to do the question. So I'm going to go ahead and get started number 10. Oh, okay. So for number 10, my final answer is J. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So the key term in this question is the word irrational. Irrational could mean a lot of things. It could mean any value such as pi, where there's no repeating value like 3.1415, whatever, etc. values that it continues on. It could also represent certain values like square root 2. It will be like 1.27, I don't even know the values exactly. But the point why this is so important to understand is the fact that rational numbers will exist infinitely within 1 through 6. It doesn't have to be specifically just pi or specifically just square root 2. It could just be any other potential value that doesn't repeat and doesn't have a clean number like 2.5 or just 3. And thus why my final answer for number 10 will be J. I'm going to go ahead and continue on to the next question. So for number 11. Okay. Consumes at least 20% lower. Okay. Consumes here to find what's the maximum number of pounds. Okay. Go ahead and do this. So 20% to drop it. Okay. Okay. So for number 11, my final answer is D. And now I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I was able to get to this answer so quickly. So as usual, when I'm reading word problems like in ACT, I just want to skim through it. I want to get the key words. And if I'm uncertain about certain words or the purpose of why they mention certain numbers, I go ahead and go back and backtrace real quick to find key words. And so it's sort of annotation skills that is needed. This word problem basically mentions that every student generally consumes around 67.5 and that generally they need to lower their sugar amount by 20%. Eventually, what they mention right here is that there's a maximum number of pounds that they need for these certain track members for the following year to meet that standard, that they need to drop 20%. That means that they only need 0.8% or 80% amount, because if it's dropped by 20%, if you're going down 20%, that means it's 80% of the total that's left over. And thus why on the calculator, I punched that into the calculator, 67.5 times 0.8, and my final answer for number 11 will be 54, thus it is D. And now I'm going to continue on to the last question. For number 12. So I'm going to go ahead and move this up. Okay, number 12. Plane 3 vertices of a rectangle. Okay. So, vertex, okay. So somewhere around here, but I do want to know why. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay. So for number 12, my final answer is going to be F. And now I'm going to explain to you how I was able to get this answer so quickly. So for number 12, the first thing they mentioned is that it's a rectangle. And so right off, I sort of imagine as if there is a rectangle right here that exists. And so that's why I drew that point right off without really knowing the exact point. But the point is that if I know that this is going to be down here, this distance between these 2 points up here will have to equal to these two distances between these 2 points. And thus, I notice that between -1 and 2, that's a 3 difference for the x. And thus, I subtracted 3 from 6 and found that 3 is going to be the only possible answer right here. None of these have an x-coordinate of 3. Thus why I knew for number 12, my final answer was going to be F. Thank you so much for watching this video. This concludes the explanations for the ACT Practice Exam 1. I do plan on continuing to the ACT Practice Exam number 2 and so on. But if there are any other content that you guys want me to cover, it doesn't have to be specifically for math. Feel free to leave a comment below and I'll go into those topics and explain them for you. But thank you so much once again for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter so that we could continue to make content like this. I hope you have a wonderful day.